There's like very few women out there that really have like that much of a prison history. So it's like in theory,
well, there is a lot of women that have prison histories, but they're uncomfortable, and their husbands probably don't allow them to be their fully selves.
Right. Definitely. Has that ever been an issue with you, where there's anything that he doesn't really care for you talking about on the podcast?
Not necessarily. He lets me be myself.
That's good. Okay, so you get into it and you just immediately start interviewing like what, just everybody you know or everybody that you have a connection to?
He was like, we're going to interview this person. We're going to get this person. The first person was my friend. Her name is Racina. I was busted with her. I met her in the feds. We did our whole time together. She was a bank robber. And I interviewed her and it went well. And the next person, I don't really remember who it was, but I just kept doing it every Sunday.
The plan was never like me and you doing podcasts together. It was like, no, we're going to create a show for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys haven't really interviewed anybody together?
Well, on Icon TV we have. Or like the Color Brown podcast. Yeah. Because I have the Color Brown podcast that it's for people that I want to interview that don't have prison experiences.
Okay.
Just so I could sit down with them.
Because some people don't want to be on a podcast called Indicted. If
well, you're not allowed to be on. A lot of people want to be on Indicted, but you can't because you don't have a prison experience.
So you need to have been indicted federally?
No.
You can have state charges as well?
No. So basically, I interview anybody that has prison experience. Could be a lieutenant, prisoners, prison wives, anybody that has a prison experience.
Okay.
Except people that have sexual crimes, people that have debriefed. Meaning they go from an general population to a PC yard.
Really?
I don't interview them.
Even that's over the line with you. You can't do that.
No.
Because there's a lot of like pretty famous dropout YouTubers in the whole Rasa scene now.
I mean, I just won't because I don't think it's okay that you're able to sit next to somebody. Like, what if you bring somebody to visit and he's a rapist and he's looking at your daughter?
Right.
What are you going to do?
No, for sure. That's a weird situation. But okay, like
everybody to their own shit. But me personally, that's none of that. And that's just what it is.
But okay, there's a lot of conversations about dropouts in general. So to be a dropout, that means basically you had to roll it up while you were in prison.
Yes.
But from your perspective, you were doing all this gangster shit and then you get out, you do your time, and then you say at a certain point, like, hey, I'm still with you. I fuck with my neighborhood. I fuck with all these people, but I'm not trying to really be a part of this in any kind of criminal way.
Yeah, because I'm a girl. First of all, I'm a grown woman now.
But even then, I mean, like, I assume Icon's from somewhere and that his life is very different than when he was 20, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, that's okay. But it's more when you decide that you're going to drop out while you're locked up because you don't like the consequences of this lifestyle. Choices.
Most of the time, I'm not going to say, I can't speak for everybody, but I feel like if you're there, obviously I'm not in men's prison. I've never been in men's prison. I'm not going to be in men's prison. I'm a female, right? I don't know. I've never been in one. So all I could speak on of whatever, you hear. So I feel if you are in there and you're doing drugs and you can't pay, so you decide to snitch and roll it up.
Oh, that's why
there's a lot of people that roll it up for that reason.
Wow, that's very pathetic.
Come on, fool. You got no respect. You get no respect.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
Right.
You can't even deal with that. You can't even get your life together in there. You want to fucking come out and think like, no, it's not okay.
Right. But you I guess like we think of the Hispanic community as having a bit higher standards, rules, and regulations in place in terms of like what is allowed to be discussed or talked about on camera. I noticed when I watched you driving around your neighborhood with my boy Johnny Mitchell, a lot of stuff was bleeped out. You're like talking about, oh, this person used to be around here and they did this, and this, and then like you like bleep the name out because I assume you had second thoughts about like I don't want to necessarily put these people out there like that. Is that a concern for you? Does that come into play?
I don't want to make them feel bad.
Right.
But not that it's going to be anything bad towards me. I don't want to make them feel bad.
Right.
Basically.
Right. But has there been other times where you do a podcast with somebody and then at some point you realize like, oh, this person's in bad standing, or we talked about a little too much, gave a little too much game away?
No. Because I'm not dumb.
Okay.
You got to learn how to. You have to know how to speak. You have to know what's going to come out of your mouth.
Right.
You can't go and sit there and think you're just gonna, you're gonna ask me a question, and I'm not gonna sit back and be like, actually sit and think about what you asked me and what's gonna come out of my mouth.
Okay,
because I'm not trying to endanger myself,
right,
or you.
But I'll give you an example. Is that it feels like we on this podcast have talked about the Money Side Suede situation. I don't really see any of the Hispanic podcasters out here really dying to talk about that shit on camera.
Because doesn't belong to us.
Right. It's a little too
It's
serious.
not for us to speak about, especially because like even like here, like we shouldn't be speaking about it because it doesn't belong to us.
Right.
He's not here. Who knows why,
But us outside of your race, we could talk about if somebody makes a YouTube video talking about it, we can talk about what they talked about.
I mean,
yeah, maybe it's kind of ugly, but
I feel you maybe you guys shouldn't, but you guys don't give a because you not part of it. So you think about it like you justify it as like, well, hey, this is what we do.
But I'm saying like with Black people or, in hip hop in general, that kind of stuff is not really it's not outside the realm of possibility. Every day on Clubhouse, Wack 100 is talking about something that if he were Mexican and the people he was talking about were Mexican would probably go over a lot different. Now, obviously, plenty of people have issues with Wack anyway for what he's willing to talk about online, but this definitely feels like way different standards. And it seems like that probably is something where it comes up a bit.
Yeah.
When you're writing your questions for an interview, you're probably thinking, I'm not going to ask about that.
Well, no, I don't even I just ask basically the same thing and I let them talk. And prior to me sitting down with them, they already know that we're not going to talk about politics because politics have nothing to do with your prison experience. Yes, it does, but that's not the lane. That's not my lane. I'm not a man and I'm not in prison. So politics only are for men in prison. That men out here try to use it to their advantage.
Right.
But why bring somebody from inside? Why bother the men that are already doing life in prison with fucking lame ass rapper, fucking lame podcast bullshit? Right or wrong?
I'll give you an example. I have to interview 4 extras later today.
He's a
big old rolling 40 crip.
Okay. He just got out, right?
Just got out again. Yeah.
Yes.
Loves to fight. Allegedly, he knocked somebody out from an op hood and then put a carrot up their butt. Not because
he literally put a carrot up his butt.
Not his own butt, but up his op's butt, allegedly. Now, I'm going to ask him about that today. I already know.
So excited to ask about that.
Very excited. Some people are even calling him 4 Carat. 4 extras is over at 4 Carat. It might be the new name.
Honestly, that's disgusting to me. And I feel like
my girl had the same response. My girl's like, I don't know why you think that I'm going to laugh at the idea of somebody getting a carrot put up their butt while they're unconscious in prison.
I feel that's more of you got an ego. You got too much pride for your own self. You like, it's dark and nasty.
Yeah. Like, even if you have the ability to put a carrot up somebody's ass after you knock them out.
That's like gross mental shit.
Shouldn't we have some decorum, some kind of standards?
Yeah, it's like mental, like, that's just like.
It's like a level of hatred that is almost unfamiliar to me.
It's dark and evil.
Yeah. I feel like that would not fly with the Rasa. No carrots.
No carrots.
And then.
I mean, to a chomo, fuck it, stuff that fool up.
You might put a whole bag of carrots in there.
Stuff that fool up, but don't let him die. Let that fool feel that shit.
The really embarrassing moment as the person who got carroted has got to be when you shit out the carrot. You look down and just remember what happened to you.
Hey, Adam, shut up.
No, apparently there was pickle retaliation. Not to him, but to someone else. Somebody got their get back on somebody else, and they put. So
these fools are just some fruity ass fools. This is at this point.
See, I don't think that they're fruity in any meaningful sense. I think they just are putting.
Yeah, but they already put shit up their ass, so they probably don't even feel that shit. Remember, they're stuffing all these things.
That's a good point. Oh.
Yeah, you know.
But there's also county jail. I don't think there's a lot of keystering going on.
No, county's is crazy.
It is.
I feel like county for men is even crazier than prison.
Really?
But
anyway,
we wouldn't know.
I was saying all that just to say that I know I'm gonna talk to him about that today, and I already know that like the way for Esther's is that he's probably not going to say anything about where the person was from or who exactly it was. But it does feel kind of weird.
It's like too much. Like just f that fool up. Like, you know.
Yeah.
It's like gross. It's like nasty.
It's becoming more and more common. Okay, because we heard about Rico Reckless saying, like years ago, 3-4 years ago, Rico Reckless said that in Chicago, you knock somebody out, you pull their pants down, you spread their asshole open, you spit in their butt.
Oh my God.
And then now we're at the level where there's peanut butter, carrots, pickles. We in everybody. Like people get knocked out and they make a whole cornucopia out of their booty hole.
And that makes them feel good. I think that's just like the prideful, like I said, the prideful ego, darkness, evil of the person that's already like taking over his lighter side.
To me, that's an argument for OGs.
Like that's just
we need
disgusting.
older, more reasonable people in the room to stop penetrating people with vegetables and other foods.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to stop this.
Yeah.
It's a war. There's a war going on outside.
No, there's always wars, but a carrot?
Vegetable war? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna say all of this to him later today. So it's not anything that I'm not gonna say to him.
Oh God, that is terrible. Honestly, I feel like only people that have hurt your mother, daughters
Can get the carrot.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
She can't be that serious. Fuck that fool up and that's it.
No, I agree. Yeah. But even
Doesn't make you look any better.
If this person really like hurt my loved one, I still feel like, beating the dog shit out of them is well within the realm of things I'm going to do. But like,
that's what I'm saying.
It's still not
like,
really...
food doesn't make you look any better. If anything, makes you look whack as fuck.
Okay, so you just saw the clip, but did you know that you can watch this entire interview right now before it's released to the public, uncensored, by becoming a member for just $5 a month? And there's a lot of other crazy benefits as well. So make sure you hit the link down in the description and sign up. Appreciate y'all.